If you record artists in your home recording studio, chances are you've heard one of these before. Artist walks in, put on the headphones, and says, "Turn up my vocals." Then, "Turn up the beat. More reverb, please." Just to turn around 5 minutes later and say the exact opposite. Now, you're stuck fixing headphone mixes instead of actually recording. So in this video, I'm gonna break down the 3 components that makes a great cue mix that's gonna help your artist give their best performance. First, let's define what a cue mix is. A cue mix is simply what the artist hears in their headphones while they're recording. The goal of a cue mix is not to sound like a finished mix. It is simply to help the artist stay on key, stay on rhythm, and feel comfortable. The first component of a great cue mix is vocal clarity. Notice I did not say loudness. Most modern instrumentals already mix very loud and very dense, so it is very easy for vocals to get lost in the beat. A common mistake most engineers make is to crank up the vocals in the headphones. But here's the thing, when the vocals get too loud in the headphones, that may cause the artist to perform more cautiously, which can reduce the energy of the performance, resulting in a very weak recording take. So instead, aim for a level that allows the artist to hear their voice clearly over the beat without it sounding too overpowering. The vocals should feel present, but not overwhelming. The second component of a great cue mix is a balance between the beat and the vocals. The artist still needs to feel the energy of the record while they perform. If the beat is too quiet, performance is gonna feel weak and disconnected. But if the beat is too loud, the artist is gonna be fighting the beat because they're barely able to hear themselves. A good starting point is to set the vocals slightly over the beat, not too loud, but also not too quiet. It should feel comfortable for the artist. The third component of a great cue mix is low latency monitoring. Latency is the delay between the artist singing and hearing back their voice in their headphones. Even the slightest delay can make the artist feel uncomfortable. In most home studios, latency comes from the computer, which is why most engineers use direct monitoring through their interface, allowing the artist to hear themselves almost instantly. But if you are monitoring through your DAW, a low buffer size could help. 128 is a good starting point. It is high enough to keep your computer running smoothly, and it's also low enough to not have a noticeable latency. However, if you're still hearing latency with 128, you can go down to 64 or even 32, assuming your computer is able to handle it. The key is to keep it simple. Vocals should feel instant and natural in your ears. Now let's take a look at a few recording takes that I did using a good cue mix, a bad cue mix where the vocal was too loud, and a bad cue mix where the beat was too loud. And let's see what the difference was in the performance. Now, I'm not a singer, so don't judge my voice. This is the raw recording, no processing, so enjoy. All right, so real quick, we have 3 recording takes here. We have one where the cue mix was good. We have one where the voice was too loud. And we have one where the beat was too loud. Visually, just looking at the waveforms, you already see there was a big difference between each take. So now let's hear them and see what the differences are. All right, we're gonna start with the good cue mix where everything felt balanced in my ears. Let's see what that performance was like. Then we're gonna take a look at the other ones.
I'm on the mic singing like I know the first thing about it. I'm on the mic singing so like I know the first thing about it.
To me, that sounds comfortable. I wasn't fighting the mic, I wasn't fighting to stay on pitch, and I wasn't fighting the rhythm, right? So that's what a good cue mix is supposed to do for an artist. Now let's take a look at one where the vocals was too loud.
I'm on the mic singing like I know the first thing about it. I'm on the mic singing so like I know the first thing about it.
Now in this one, because I was able to hear myself clearly, I was able to fight through it. However, you can hear there's some slight hesitation in some parts where I had the tendency to kind of back off a little bit because I was hearing myself too loud. That is not necessarily a bad take. However, I would choose the first one over the second one because the first one sounded more consistent and more relaxed, where this one sounded like something happened in the middle of recording and I was just pushing through it. Now let's hear the third one where the beat was too loud.
I'm on the mic singing like I know the first thing about it. I'm on the mic singing I said like I know, but I know the first thing about it.
All right, so for this one, I was clearly fighting the mic. And the reason was because the beat was just too loud in my ears. And while I was trying to perform, I couldn't hear myself. So naturally, I try to push harder so I could get my voice out, so I can get my voice to be heard. And you can clearly hear that in the recording. While I wasn't really pitchy, the performance doesn't sound great. That is what a bad cue mix will do to an artist. Now, let's hit the three of them back to back and see which one actually sounds better.
I'm on the mic singing like I know, but I know the first thing about it. I'm on the mic singing so like I know, but I know the first thing about it. I'm on the mic singing like I know, but I know the first thing about it. I'm on the mic singing so like I know, but I know the first thing about it. I'm on the mic singing like I know, but I know the first thing about it. I'm on the mic singing, I said like I know, but I know the first thing about it.
All right, so what did you think? Did you think the first one was the better recording take, or did you think the last one was the better recording take? A great cue mix is supposed to help your artist give their best performance. The three components that are going to help with that is clear vocals that are present, a balanced beat that is perfectly leveled along with the vocals, and lastly, low latency monitoring. If this video helped you out, make sure to drop a like and comment down below to show support to the channel, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.